What the hell was that? Hello? Someone down here? Jesus Christ! What the hell was that? There's a cop car sitting in the opening on the other side over there. And I'm not sure if he saw us. We definitely saw him. Have you ever wondered what our world would look like during post-apocalyptic times? Well, I'm at a location that's going to give us that very look. This place has everything from abandoned cars, abandoned buildings, to an abandoned boat graveyard. I guarantee you don't want to miss this video, including later on when I explore the inside of this massive ship. If you'd like to join me on this unique adventure, then come along with me. Oh, come here, look at this. It's like a little mini jet boat. That is neat. What is this? The vehicle?
It's international in the front.
Is it? It's almost like a, looks like a Jeep Wagoneer.
Yeah. Is it a Scout? I know international made a Scout.
Almost looks like someone's living here.
Front property.
It's a massive tree too. Look at these ships though. Less than 5 minutes into this, had to retreat. There's a cop car sitting in the opening on the other side over there. And I'm not sure if he saw us. We definitely saw him. So we retreated for now, just to see if they're gonna be looking for us or not. There is a chance they didn't see us, but we're just gonna wait it out. A little bit out of breath because we had a sprint back over here around this inlet area through picker vines that got all cut up and stuff. So not the greatest start so far, although the location does look extremely promising, but also not worth the risk of having a fine implemented or something else. So stay tuned. We may try and get back over there. All right, I'm back in here. This time I am alone. Matt is actually waiting as a lookout by my vehicle because we just didn't have a good feeling that if we kept going, that it would work in our favor. So we did kind of scout the area. Coast is clear for now, but he's gonna be my lookout. And although I would like him with me for both safety reasons and to experience this himself, he offered to do that, and I'm gonna take up his offer to be my lookout so I could get the footage to share it with all of you. This is a really crazy, bizarre sight. An old marina that has been abandoned for decades and has dozens, if not over 100 boats on property. Some in water, some out of water, some are parts of boats. There's vehicles, there's buildings. It's a literal post-apocalyptic world. And that boat is done for the day, D-U-N. And here in April, foliage is growing in. It's approximately 70 degrees out, sunny. And I'm gonna be looking out for snakes, people, critters, and just kind of taking this cautiously, but at the same time, soaking it all in. Little Mark II, and all these boats have a story to tell from the owners of where they used to go. Squirrel, I heard rustling. Where they used to go and operate the boats, if they had families on board, if they were vacationing on the boats. Each one of them is different. Some of them may have been for working to make money. But our highlight, which I'm going to kind of say the best for last, is back there where those two big masts are. That is a big Lightship, which I'm going to share some details with you about that once we do get over there to explore it. Oh, they're looking for me. I can't take ownership of finding this location. I can't take credit for it, but I will share with you how I did learn about it. A few months ago, I was on the YouTube homepage, and on there it always shows recommended or suggested videos, and a video was recommended to me by a channel I've never heard of before, but it was of this location. It had a rather catchy thumbnail and title, enough to catch my interest to click on the video. I plan on watching it for a few minutes, maybe 5-10 minutes at the most. Next thing I know, I'm at the end of the video. It kept me hooked the entire time, which speaks about the content itself and the content creator behind it. The channel is known as 2 Feet Outdoors. He's an urban kayaker and explorer. Mostly does locations in New York, but he did come to this location on his kayak and explored it. And once I saw it, I knew I needed to come here, experience it for myself, and share it with all of you. And I wanted to do it sooner than later because there's some plans in place that may take away what we see here. I'll share those with you a little bit later on in the video. But as far as I know, we're here on a weekday in the afternoon. Should have the place to myself. If anything questionable does seem out of place, Matt's gonna let me know. But I'm gonna take you around, show you some of the buildings, some of the vehicles, and not gonna be able to show you everything. I'd be here for 4 or 5 hours. But I think we're gonna start up kind of where we left off before we got spooked by the cop car, work our way in. I will tell you though, this location is not posted, it's not gated, it is neighboring a school and a park, and there are multiple entry points. So if we were to be seen by the police, I don't know if it would have been a huge deal, but since there are plans for this to change from what you see here to something else, I don't know if they're patrolling it or not. So we just wanted to be extra cautious and do things safely because I don't have a great fondness of exploring in New Jersey. Those of you who've been with me for a while prior to 2020 know that I filmed a video in Trent, New Jersey, and a neighbor called the cops on me and the individual I was with, Mike at the time, and 8 cop cars, K9 units came and swarmed the area, and we came this close to getting busted. We voluntarily came out, just said we're taking pictures, and they let us go. But hopefully this time will be a better experience. We do have some construction trailers. There's various roadways and paths coming through here. There's a few buildings here and just boats everywhere. I think this was the main entrance at the time. It looks like possibly a mailbox. Oh, there's even a fountain right there. And if I'm not mistaken, I think the owners did live on property when this was in business. I don't know why it closed or when it closed, but as you can see, it's been decades. I think that's a mermaid. Oh, that's kind of cool. I think it's like a little fountain slash pond area. There's even some artificial ducks and geese here. And this building has some plastic on the front saying asbesto. Maybe we'll just peek through the windows and doors. I don't have a respirator with me, but look at all the stuff though that probably came from the inside. So maybe they're on the brink of doing something with this property. I believe this was the owner's home. Asbestos may cause cancer, damage to lungs, authorized personnel only, respirator protection and protective clothing in this area. So I think we're just going to take some peeks on the inside. Although I have been in locations before with asbestos and mold and everything else, I don't want to go in if it's being disturbed. Look at baseball VHS collection set. Oh, I can smell the mold from here. It is putrid. Oh. Those are probably asbestos tiles right there. We'll get a look from a few doorways like this. Like I said, it's not posted, clearly open, but and apparently they had a DVD collection as well. Daredevil. Big living room window right there. It's like a drop ceiling on the inside. See some liquor bottles and some boots. Maybe somebody was living here at one time as far as like a homeless person. Even outside here, there's some furniture, some toys. If there's a toy, you know it's officially abandoned. Singer sewing machine. Right there. Heavily tagged up over here. I'm gonna try and stay out of clear line of sight passing by vehicles. I will be honest, there's definitely a spooky vibe to the area. Although it is pretty much an abandoned boatyard, marina, it still seems kind of sketchy. So the steps are missing from the back porch, which are pretty much from right there. Is it doable? Maybe. I don't think I want to stand on this porch. It looks sketchy, questionable. Also did get cut up on the way in through thorns. Now here's an inlet area. The tide is down right now. So there's a lot of exposed muddy areas. This almost looks like an old tugboat right here. And I hear water draining out of that boat right there. So when the tide's up, these boats do take in water. Some of them may or may not float, but there's water draining beneath it, and it's still tied up here from however long ago. All different styles of boats. And these are the ones that we saw from the other side. So when we retreated, we basically got to over there. And I was kind of analyzing the area, deciding what we're going to do. And I was just showing you a few things from that side. So we are kind of looking from where we were, even though we were on property already. In the beginning, I did show you that abandoned international vehicle, that little jet boat. But let's continue with this building, and we'll see if we can get some more views somewhere else. So here's basement. Looks like a rounded area. That might be a shower right there, like a fiberglass shower. Floor is rotted. Nearly all the windows are open. Some of them have that screening on it. And there's a massive pile of material here. This looking, basement smells better than the upstairs, I'll tell you that. Looks like it was finished at one time. You can see little seating areas there. There was a ceiling, which is now pretty much gone. It's all white. Wrought iron railing coming down for the steps. I guess you could climb Mount Crapmore and get in over there if you wanted to, but there are easier ways to get in. Massive, massive tree right here. Fireplace, chimney, probably for either a fireplace or just the furnace system. It's a decent sized home. If you're facing this property from the water, this would be the left side of the property, near the inlet. And I'm pretty certain most of this stuff came out from the inside. If it wasn't for that asbestos posting, I honestly would be inside and just say, heck with it. I'm gonna show you what I can, but Christmas lights right here. It's like they're almost brand new. There is like a whole mound of stuff. So, I mean, not to say this stuff couldn't have been dumped here, but it seems really rotted and moldy and stinky, so I'm guessing it probably came from inside. Maybe they just started bringing it out through the window there. Oh, look at this. Oh, I wonder if they had kids. There's a lot of toys here. He looks like he's seen better days. That's from Toy Story, I think. Look at this little portable TV. Probably black and white. Oh, C1, C2 camera monitor maybe. Thought it was a little portable TV. I think it's a monitor system. It's also Christmas decoration right there. There's some stickers on there for American Express. Smoking, oxygen, and use, so probably someone with some health problems. Greater Philadelphia Chamber of Commerce member, 1990. I love national parks. Would have been a light right there. They have all this plastic on these windows here. Oh, somebody pissed off that goose. Although I'm not going in, I can at least stick you guys in there, so you can take a look, see what it's like. I can't see anything, so you guys are seeing it before me technically, although I'll see it during editing. I think if I was to come a few months earlier, there's a chance that it wouldn't have been there and that most of the stuff would still be inside, but it looks like they are essentially gutting it. But decent sized brick home. And I do really like that mermaid statue. Hopefully somebody will save that. Alright, so although there are some things back there, I showed you some of them earlier, like the abandoned international vehicle, the little jet boat. There are more boats back there, but again, they're all throughout the property. So we're going to start working our way towards the back near that large lightship. Off to our left here is that storage area that we did see before. Oh, porta-john right there. That's like an old porta potty. Looks like maybe somebody was staying in a shack here. There's another building in front of us here. So maybe some of these we could check out in more detail. Anyone that has experience with these, if you have an approximate date on this, let me know. I think this might be fiberglass. If I was to guesstimate, I would say maybe 80s, possibly earlier. Coming near the water's edge again at the inlet, there's just more boats and docks being swallowed up by the earth. With the rise and fall of the tide, it brings in sediment and silt, and that boat is literally getting buried alive. Although it's not technically alive, but there's another dock right there, which looks like it's holding on with termites just holding hands. Looks really questionable. Post right here with the thick rope around it. Coming at winter time is the ultimate time to come. And although I did learn about this just on the brink of winter, wasn't able to fit it into the schedule until now. So although it is technically spring, it's not full blown out summer with everything growing in. So that is some equipment there, Chemex. I thought maybe this was a shack that someone was staying in, but it doesn't appear so. So that structure is empty. We do have another brick structure over here. And standing up on a trailer is a sailboat. Oh, this one has the open door policy. What do you think? Should we go inside? No? Okay. Thought you might want to. Just kidding. Yeah, let's check this one out. Got my flashlight. There's no asbestos signs here, although it probably could be asbestos in here. It's not deliberately stopping us from coming in. And it looks like we walked into the kitchen. It's like lavender color walls. It's definitely older. You can tell the older door here. Got multiple locking mechanisms on it. Coat rack right there. Plaster and lath for the walls, so there's no sheetrock. Built-in cabinet there. Hopefully these floors don't give out. Okay, so that is just a little closet. Red room. Futon in here. Back porch has items on it. And it's basically being reclaimed by nature with the ivy and the leaves and trees. And that ceiling might be a tin ceiling. I do see rust on it. It's got a curved wall right there. That's kind of neat. Gotta make sure I don't just stumble. Oh, the basement's flooded. Holy crap. There's about 4 or 5 feet of water in there. Bathroom is a no-go because I could see into the flooded basement. There is actually water and daylight beneath the toilet there. Here's the TV room. Literally. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 TVs. Each room's a different color. We have the lavender, red. This is teal. There's brick right there behind the wall that's exposed. And this comes right out to the property here. So we're gonna look at the railings here though for the entryway. Nice curved railings. It's a rather nice entryway here. It's not just a simple thrown together place, it's got some architectural designs to it. I just noticed it's like a brand new food processor. Sears Kenmore food processor. It's like it's brand new. Just saw it sitting there. Okay, we're going to save the basement for last because I do want to give you a better shot at that. Another red room here. Some of these floors are slanted as well. It doesn't smell that bad in here. I don't smell mold, surprisingly. There's a lot of ventilation with these open windows and doors. But it looks like someone was in here recently. There's some broken bottles, some prescription pill bottles right there. That is the bathroom, which we showed you before with the flooded basement. It's kind of eerie having water in the basement. Imagine if I had snorkeling gear to go snorkeling in a basement. Really colorful. This looks like a kid's room. Bunk beds in here. So if indeed the owners lived here right up until this business closed, they had young kids at the time growing up here. And most likely girls. There's some princess stickers there. At least one girl. Really small room, but it's colorful. You see the exposed timbers and brickwork. Really small room though. Now look at the ornate light switch there. It's got like a horse and a lion on it, and a seal. Washer dryer, that's an old unit right there. Maybe 70s. Frigidaire, product of General Motors Laundry Center. So, okay, that's where we came in. Did I miss? So this is the curved wall. So I'm wondering why the wall is curved here. Oh, so the closet, it's actually a really deep closet. There's another prescription bottle there. So this closet forms that curvature that we saw from the other side. And again, these had more locking mechanisms. There's an old skeleton key there. The door handle, then that lock. So wonder if they were maybe paranoid about things or want to keep people out. It's actually wallpaper right there as well. It's like they painted right over the wallpaper. So here is the basement. I'm going to come down a few steps. Hopefully these steps don't break because I don't want to fall into standing still water. That is completely flooded. I'd say about 3 to 4 feet of water. That is crazy. And it's crystal clear. I could see everything perfectly. And if you weren't paying attention, you could walk right down here without a flashlight and think it's just a dark basement. I'm going to get a rock and throw it just to kind of show you and for my own curiosity. Well, not ideal, but I do have a picture frame I'm going to toss there. Probably going to float. Yeah. Now, although I did come across a flooded basement in an old switching tower building, it's my first time coming across a flooded basement in a home. Back outside now, and 100% there was children that were living here. It's like a Cadillac Escalade, Power Wheels. Now some of this stuff does not look all that old, but with the amount of, I guess you could say, decay on it and growth, it looks like it hasn't been touched in years. So, like I said, I don't have dates, but these buildings, though, are not in great condition. This one's definitely better than the previous one with the asbestos. 100% this was a residence. That one may have been maybe a business building, like an office type building. But it looked like there were furnishings on the inside to make it like a home. Could have been home/office. Maybe there was another family member living here in this building. But 2 brick homes, or brick buildings, it looks like. And here is a Seafair sedan. Not a 2-door coupe, 4-door sedan. It's a busted up car here. Another Porta-John. Is this Nissan Altima probably? Wouldn't be surprised if it did get stolen and stripped and junked and left back here. So some more ships, sailboats down there. There's looking out into the river and the beginning of the inlet. Some more structures here. We'll just take a brief glimpse. It is full of crap, but like nothing good though. Looks like a workshop. Bunch of shelves there for parts. Workbenches. Chest of drawers probably used for parts. I do see some PVC pipes down there. So yeah, this looks like an old repair shop here for equipment and or boats. Again, multiple locks. Really wanted to keep people out when it was open. I also have touched base with Matt. Sent a text. He said everything's good over there. He said everything's good here. So we're going to continue on exploring while we can. And it looks like we may have hit a dead end back here. Collapsed building. Another little boat there. Yeah, it's just looking, there's a garage door over there, so entry was on the other side. Wooden floor. I did notice too, just glancing off, is the old dock system here. So there was a dock that went pretty much the entire length. Yeah, there's an old dock system right here. It's all rotted and collapsed in on itself. And it's low tide right now. It's just a muddy mess. And the water is down probably, I don't know, several feet though. You can see the old water line. And there's some geese just hanging out. So that's the house we were in. We came out with the ornate entryway. Starcraft boat. I think it's Starcraft. Stapcraft? Might be some parts of the letters missing. Looks like Starcraft. trailer here. It says underwater something. Underwater. It's blocked by the trees. Underwater technology something. So we saw the inside of that. That's the workshop. Bunch of creosote ties right here with plates. These came from a railroad. These were used for trains. Probably were given for free. But everywhere you look out, I mean, it's just mind-blowing. The Onycs containers, boats. I don't think we could get inside that. That's the technology, underwater technology center, if you want to call it that. It's more of a canvas now. Just double check. Well, we may be able to get a glimpse inside. I'm not stepping foot inside, it's rotted, but it looks anything but like a technology center. Probably just some type of little mobile office. Smells moldy as well. So we have another one here, Atlantic Mobile Corporation. There's the garage bay door I told you about from the other side. Oh, there's an old camper back here, tucked away. It was teal in color. Look at that. That's probably got some history to it. Here's an outboard motor. Mercury. Anyone watching who's into boating and marine life of sorts, hopefully you're enjoying this video, because this is a really awesome look at one time was probably a really busy and bustling marina. And now it's just being consumed by nature. Okay, let's see. Take a glimpse inside here. Wow, this is actually pretty big in here. It's like a double wide. 70s vibe to it. Wood paneling, console TV right in front of us. Some old records. Old sofa here. There's rope wrapped around the poles for like a nautical theming. Just came in here briefly to give you more of a look. Let's hope that was the wind. It was. And this is, for the most part, pretty intact and solid. Little magnetic sketch pad there. There's photos, there's albums, there's all kinds of stuff. A lot of personal possessions. Looks like a bar kitchen area right there. 2 bathrooms. So this was a commercial building, I believe. There is paperwork too with information on it. Obviously, I'm not going to show that because I'm not sure who it pertains to, but it is here. It's a buoy. Pretty fascinating though. Let's see. Funk and Wagnalls. Great music of our time. George Gershwin. $1 Million Weekend. The Ventures. Philharmonic. Great music. And then stereo guest star Johnny Crawford. Okay, we're almost at the highlight of this location. I do want to just check this area right here. See if there's any hidden gems that we may have missed. Because there are a lot more boats mixed in here. There's also another camper that would sit in the back of a pickup truck. Just in case there is something worthwhile and you get a better sense of this location. There's even a spotlight right there. Like I said, if there's someone who likes boats, I'm sure you'd have a field day here. And if we weren't in Jersey and I wasn't waiting on having Matt wait for me, I would probably spend a lot more time here than I am. Although this is turning into a lengthier video, based on how much there is to see, I could easily spend several hours here combing this entire place. Everywhere you look, there's just vessels. All various states of disrepair. That one right there's got the motor right there. Even up here, boat trailers, boats, and jungle-like atmosphere. We'll be honest, after spending some time here now and having that initial scare be behind us, I don't feel as sketched out. Although I wouldn't recommend coming here at night. But so far, it seems like everything's going as it should be. So I have one more little pocket of boats here, as you're going to see them behind me as we're walking through. And then we're going to have the gigantic ship right on the edge of the water as our main focus right after this. That's a Confidant. Okay, so good thing is there's little pathways walking through here, so definitely people do come here. It's not a completely unknown location. Okay, we saw that. That was done for the day. We saw that. Although there are some more boats up here near the water, I think now it is time to focus on the largest ship here. And it's got some really fascinating history to it. And as far as I know, we could climb aboard and explore the innards. Look at that beast. Could barely fit in frame of the camera. 2 crow's nests up there, which basically served as the light towers, because this was a lightship. This replaced and served as a mobile lighthouse. As I do climb aboard, get some shots, I'm going to share some of the fascinating history about this ship that is calling this old abandoned marina home, at least for now. Here's some specifications about the lightship Barnegat. It was built by the New York Shipping Company in Camden, New Jersey in 1904. The length is 129 feet, the beam is 28 feet 6 inches, draft is 12 feet 6 inches, displacement is 668 tons, and the illumination apparatus is a cluster of 3 oil lens lanterns raised on each mast. Propulsion was Steam 1 compound surface condensing engine. Propeller was 79 inches in diameter, max speed of 10 knots, also rigged for sail initially. Fog signal is a 12-inch steam chime whistle, hand-operated, and a 1,000-pound bell. This ship was used to replace a former lighthouse that was first built at the northern tip of Long Beach Island, marking Barnegat Inlet in 1835. This 40-foot tall tower toppled into the sea in 1857. The ship's role was to warn commercial ships along the New Jersey coast of shallow water and shoals in order to avoid strandings and sinkings. 2 masts, each of which contained 3 oil-fed lanterns, a steam chime whistle that blasted every 20 seconds, and a submarine bell were employed to provide the warning. Although the ship was stationed in multiple locations, the Barnegat spent most of her career at Barnegat Station until its decommissioning in 1967. The ship was added to the National Register of Historic Places in November 1979. After retiring, Barnegat was then donated to the Chesapeake Bay Maritime Museum in St. Michael's, Maryland. The museum was unable to keep up with the maintenance of the vessel and sold the vessel to the Heritage Ship Guild in 1970 to be displayed at Penn's Landing. At some point, it was moved to its current location and now calls this abandoned marina home. All right, looks like we're gonna try to climb aboard. When I watched that gentleman's video, there was actually a ladder here, which made it really easy for him. But there's like a makeshift little platform here. I should be able to get my foot inside that port window and pull myself aboard. So, although I'm doing this so you guys can see visually and physically what's involved, I have to do it twice because I always have to come back and get you guys. But just wanted to show you part of the experience. Oh, that's like, because right down here, it's going into a muddy mess. Normally the water's up to almost as high as I am here. So luckily, like I said, came at the right time during low tide. Permission to climb aboard. Hear music. I think it's coming from the park over there. All right, I'm gonna briefly scout this out really quick, make sure it's safe to explore, and then I'm gonna come get you and I'm gonna show you what we can. I'm gonna be 100% honest and truthful. I don't know hardly a thing about ships. I know this is, let's see, this is starboard side, port side, bow, and stern. That's pretty much all I know. I don't know much of anything else as far as terminology, so I'm not going to try to pretend like I know what I'm looking at or talking about. I will give you my input and thoughts as we make our way through, but obviously those of you who have any knowledge or expertise on ships of this magnitude, feel free to leave timestamps down below and explain in more detail what I did show in the video. It may help myself and viewers get a little bit of an education for something like this. But this is my first time ever documenting a ship, especially a ship this big that's abandoned. So my first abandoned marina, my first abandoned ship exploration. So we're checking off a few boxes today and I'm not complaining in the least. All right, we're safely aboard. Here's the view from up here. Here, an ice cream truck too. I think mostly everything is gutted and stripped. And I think, if I remember from his video, the basement, not the basement, but the very bowels of the ship may be flooded. There's actually water actively draining out of it as we speak. And here is one of those crow's nest up there, light towers. That one is a literal crow's nest. There's all bedding up there. That some type of winged creature has made its home. Let's start at the stern. We'll walk the entire decking and then we'll work our way down and just kind of repeat it. I do want to cover this in its entirety. I guess these are all little port windows, if you want to call them that. And that's looking down to multiple decks. Tie-offs there for rope. I don't know what that is. Almost looks like control for the anchor, but the anchor's in the front. Oh, there's a freaking goose right there. Scare the crap out of me. Hey, Mr. Goose. Not gonna bother you. I thought that was a decoy for a second and his head moved. So here's a nice visual with the sun behind the mast. Like we're gonna have some components of steel and wood. I'm gonna go around, I don't wanna bother the goose. I do love all the round windows though. Oh, door's open, look at that. You can easily walk right in. So there's downstairs access right there. I'm guessing the captain's quarters are probably up in that front room there. It's pretty solid. The flooring looks like it may have been replaced at some point. There's a safe right there. I wonder if Rose's blue diamond necklace from the Titanic was found in there as well. This thing is a monster though. I haven't never been in a ship this large except for a cruise ship, which is a modern day ship. As far as an abandoned ship, this is the biggest. Like electrical components, maybe for a phone even. Don't know what was in here. It's a little partition there. And looking for the heat. Radiators. Would it have been steam heat? I'm guessing. I'm glad I'm not here in the summer months because this place is probably a beehive of activity. No pun intended. Probably lots of bees. Somebody's water bottle, that's not mine. Some of the decking is rotted. I have to watch my footing for certain. A couple soft spots here and there. A lot of mechanisms going on here. Some gearing. This rotates almost like a train wheel. It's got the arm on it there. And like the cylinder here, so it's almost like a locomotive. Probably spun that, which would wrap either rope or chain around that, I'm guessing. Again, any incorrections, by all means, share down below, but just kind of putting it together with common sense and what little knowledge I do have of certain mechanisms. We got these arms over here which are manipulated. Looks like they may drop down, possibly. So there's a sailboat right next to us, below us, which is actively, oh, we're spewing out water. That's coming from our ship. So yes, the bottom deck has water in it. This might be ventilation, like a stack for the engines. Just want to show a sense of scale too with me walking on this ship. Oh, actually, there's a platform in there. There's an inner pipe. I'll show you that. So right here, there is a handle. This is similar to when me and Matt took the Cass Scenic Railway in Cass, West Virginia, and there was a portable mill on a train car. And it had something similar to this with the handle, with the geared wheel, and the arm and piston or cylinder. Looks really similar to this. And not mistaken, I think that was steam powered. There was a big boiler. So whatever this did probably was steam powered with those cylinders. And again, something would have wrapped around here. But fascinating piece of history. Oh, look at this. can see the old gauges and dials, milliamps. Can we power it on? Barnegat. Power program. A lot of conduit, electrical work. And the back side of this is even more fascinating. Look at that. Most likely some pretty old, if not outdated technology. There's even like a dial right there for frequency. Is that for the radio maybe? This is so cool. There's a light right there. Bulb's still intact. And the peeling paint, you can see it was green. And they painted white over it. And that is looking down a few decks. And I do see water down there. Is this the wheelhouse? Is that what it's called? Well, it looks like there would have been a platform that the main flooring is gone, and they would have been standing on that line right there. Even with that, then they have views out the window. So this might be the wheelhouse. Maybe where that safe was could have been captain's quarters, but that's really small though. I'm guessing maybe sleeping quarters were downstairs. As we make our way to the bow, you can see one of the ginormous anchors. Gotta watch your footing too. Yep, some of this decking is soft. I'm pretty sure this is an anchor. Looked like it from the front side at least. I mean, just to show my flashlight for comparison, how small it is. And I think there's another one of these on the front bow of the ship. And you can stand right here, pretend you're Jack and Rose, and say you're king of the world.
I'm the king of the world!
I can't help myself. I'm king of the world! I don't want to yell to draw attention to myself, but it's a big child of me. Couldn't help myself. I promise I'll never let go, Jack. You lied. You let Jack perish. There is room for two on that door. Pretty freaking awesome. All right, now I guess it's time for us to go below level, below top deck, and see how far we could go before we get flooded out. And obviously before the tide returns as well. Do we want to go downstairs through... There's some more equipment right there. There's a speaker right there too. Imagine if the ship's wheel was still here. Actually, it may have been mounted there. There's like a chain system going out both sides with some pulleys here. I wonder if that helped with the steering. If not, maybe let me know if you happen to know. Looks like a fire extinguisher was mounted right there as well. But the decay just looks so incredible with the peeling paint. Yeah, we got access right here. I think we're going to go down right here. Is this sturdy? Kinda. I know I'm probably supposed to be going down backwards, but I guess you could go down this way too. It's got the two railings. Oh yeah, the next deck down is flooded, but we can at least access this deck. So let me take you down with me and we'll explore what we can. All right, just came down and now we're one deck below. And this looks like, based on the table, maybe a coincidence with the plasticware. You know what, I'm probably gonna say it incorrectly. I wanna say galley, or mess hall. But anyways, it's where they would have ate. So whatever the terminology is, I'm not going to guess anymore because I'm just going to keep getting it wrong. So this floor does get flooded at times. It is damp. And man, what a sight. Look at all the... What the hell was that? Hello? Someone down here? I heard something over here. Yeah, this room gets flooded. High tide. The water level is right there, so it'll be about waist deep right now. Holy crap. I'm glad I came at the right time. This would be completely inaccessible. I heard something though, like someone made a footstep. With the lighting. Jesus Christ! What the hell was that? I think there's a goose in here with me. Yeah, they're screaming. I think I scared him as much as he scared me. What the hell? I hear something on top deck now. Is this like a haunted ship or something? Okay, I was not expecting him to be startled like that. So anyways, this room gets flooded. See the clear water line? Red is dry, green is when it gets water. Radiators all around here. Desks. Loud geese that are yelling because I'm in their home. Little front room here. That's a record player right there. Desk. I do like the lighting as well. Breaker box right there. Wow, this thing just keeps going. So I guess we'll just work up one end to the other. We kind of started in the middle. Trying to check every nook and cranny. Little tiny radiator right there. So there is another level which is partially dry. It's not completely flooded. Looks like most of the water is towards the bow of the ship. That looks like a heater maybe. Looks like that would spin. And that is one of the light towers right there. This is the base of it right here. So that's the other little room we checked out with the safe. We know that. These might have been little bunk rooms. That's what they look like. Sleeping quarters. So I'm getting my orientation confused. This is the stern of the ship. This is the back of the ship. So yeah, no, I was correct. The bow has more water than the stern. And 100%, these are sleeping quarters. Look at that. How freaking awesome. They may have even been bunk beds. A little tiny closet. Had a little sink right here. And look at the woodwork too. That is really nice. This is just skylight. So we saw those port windows from the top deck. It's more or less just skylights. The woodwork though, I absolutely love. Even the trim up here. I was not expecting to see that inside here. I do have to watch my footing. There are some holes. This looks like maybe a washroom. I think there would have been a sink there. The paint peeling and the decay though is really beautiful. It just gives it such a unique look to it. So back here is the rounded section, which is the back stern of the ship, or the aft section, AFT I believe it's called. That's full of like sediment and materials. Even though there's a ladder there, you can't even get down there. But what a beautiful area. There's a big bench seat right there. shelving units. This is a really nice, I guess you could say, quarters area for the people. These little staterooms I really love. So there's the sink intact. That's what it would look like. A little medicine cabinet. No medicine. Nice little cozy room. Got a window, obviously, your light. See the water line? This does get flooded. Boy, am I glad I came during low tide. And look at all the books. We wouldn't be able to actually stand here right now and explore this during high tide without having to wear hip waders. Okay, so we came through that door. We saw this. There's more steps coming down here. It's just a muddy mess. It does smell like grease and oil in here too. Pretty much the entire ship smells like grease and oil. Maybe even fuel, but it smells like people who have oil burning furnaces. It smells like that smell. There's box fans in here. Fluorescent lighting covers, a toilet. And then we could keep going this direction. And the overhead wiring, though, geez, it's like sad at the same time, but looks so incredible. And all these little rooms. I don't know what some of them would have been for. Some of them are rotted really bad. And just look how far back it goes. I mean, you know, we got a room here, corridor keeps going. We haven't even checked out this yet, which we'll get to maybe for last. That's like the center of the ship. Here's a compressor, it looks like. I think that's an air compressor. There's fuses. General Electric magnetic controller. Maybe it wasn't a compressor, maybe a motor for something else, but it does resemble like an air fitting right there. More of these tanks right here. May have been oxygen. Radiators. There's a side hatch door so they could bring larger things in and out through there. That would be on the starboard side, I believe. And just to kind of show you what the view is like from here. Just looking out at the post-apocalyptic world. What is that? Something that's covered in silt, but it looks like a screen or something, and there's dials here. Those little fuses too. It says vent motor galley, galley range, washing machine, vent blower forward, evaporator mower, drinking fountain, coffee urn. So, okay, we know this room here. This appears to be the kitchen. There is the stove right there. That's where they would have made their meals. And it would have had the vent or chimney going right up through there, which is the top of that right there. So that was the ventilation for the chimney. This looks like a motor right here. See, there was wood here. It's completely rotted away. Stuck. Fire extinguisher mount, switch, a bell. That is full of water. Yep, it's full of water. So I think we were right that this is the eating area. Food was made in here. Gonna have to duck down for this one. This looks like possibly a pantry or tool storage. Could have been used there one or the other at certain times. A lot of nuts and bolts. There is an eerie sight. That is a completely flooded lower deck, and it's murky water. That looks like out of a horror movie. And just to kind of show you, I'm going to throw this little metal bracket in. Yeah. Not inviting at all. Wouldn't want to go in there for any voluntary reason. There's a cot right there. So more sleeping quarters possibly. Oh, wow. This might be the anchor system. It's big chains. We're up here near the bow of the ship. Big gearing. This floor is soft and squishy. I definitely don't want to fall through this floor because we know what's below us already. Yeah, this is the anchor system. Holy crap. And it goes right outside to the front, which we saw from the outside. And just to show a sense of scale compared to my hand, there's my hand. So, and there's daylight right outside. So I was on top deck, pretending I was Jack. What an incredible beast of a ship. And this was all operational, served for decades, and it's now in the sad state of disrepair. Ooh, squishy floor. I don't want to fall through. I want to get to the other side, and then we'll work our way back. But I can't go that way, obviously. I'm going to try to... I want to keep you rolling the entire time. Kind of keep this as real and authentic as we can, even with all my blunders and random thoughts I'm having. Yeah, I know, geese, I know. Okay, so there's looking down. It's just full of mud. I don't know if there's a deck below this or not, below that one. I don't think so, though. And this obviously can't float anymore. It is resting on the riverbed or inlet bed. So it's not a floating vessel anymore since there is full of water. Another radiator. This may have been a toilet. Possibly. Maybe not. There's piping here and bracketing. And a natural skylight that nature decided to film, or I should say decided to form. Here's a huge fire extinguisher. It's about a 2-foot long fire extinguisher. I hear you, I know. Give me a few minutes. Geese are so testy. Yeah, that is an awesome room. I'm guessing we're not going to see the engine room because it's downstairs. Jesus, what the hell was that? Something just ran across the deck upstairs. It's either the ship is haunted or these geese weigh about 50 pounds and are sounding like people. Yeah, look at bunk beds right here. Well, I can only imagine maybe doing a paranormal investigation on this ship. I don't know if anyone perished on it, but it just has a lot of history to it. And maybe someone that passed already served on this ship. And maybe they came back to, I guess, see it one last time. Boy, they're sounding so angry. I got to get out of here soon because they might be like thinking of teaming up and attacking me. I think we covered everything. You know what? The one area that was partially flooded, I want to see if I can at least get you guys a visual down there. Oh, this middle room. Here we go. So there's a grated floor and there is water beneath us. Let's hope this grate is solid, as it's not right there. And there's water kind of right there. So this looks like the kind of heart of the ship right here. Looks like a lot of breakers or circuits. There's an old door right here with the skeleton key. I'm guessing the engine room is down here. We're not going to be able to see it. As much as I would love to, the 2 feet outdoors may have showed it in his video. So if you go back to his video, you may be able to get a glimpse at it. It's just so creepy. ITE Circuit Breaker Company, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Boy, these are like frozen. They don't want to move. I think those are breakers, if I'm not mistaken. Okay, don't step there. I don't like walking where I can see through to the bottom, even though it's like not like a bottomless pit. It is full of murky water. Oh, that wasn't good. All right, it's going to show you from here. That looks like maybe a boiler right there, possibly. Some gauges there off to the right. Something for a pump. Looks like that is the ventilation or the exhaust stack right there that we saw up above. Yep, I can see the grate up there. That is the exhaust stack. So I showed you through it. This goes down to the engine, which is somewhere down there under several feet of water. Boy, what a shame. I mean, I'm fortunate that we're able to see what we're able to see today, but the heart of this ship was the engine, and I would have loved to have shown you that. I think we covered nearly everything else, and I think I need to get out of here because I'm gonna have to contend with those geese on the way out. So let me get top deck, get safely off the ship, and we'll go from there. Please don't be waiting for me. Where the hell are you? Jesus, leave me alone. Get out of here. I told you they're waiting for me. Oh, get me off the ship. I'm surrounded. You can have it back. I'm going. I know you're angry with me. Well, what a freaking awesome exploration and adventure exploring inside and outside the Barnegat Lightship. And those geese mean business. They were angry with me. I still don't think I heard a person, but it sounded like people, walking around both inside and outside the ship. Another flooded boat here as well. That one looks like it maybe came from Gilligan's Island. It's got that look to it. And on our way here, we walked by Philly Joe. I think we're going to use that as our backdrop because I do want to share some information about this place. I know it's a lengthier video, but this is a really unique, one-of-a-kind location. An abandoned marina with dozens upon dozens of boats, vehicles, buildings. Literal post-apocalyptic world. It looks like how it would be if man was gone and nature just started reclaiming and decay started taking over. But this property, as I stated, may not stay like this forever. Now, although the future of the ship is uncertain, this property, though, well, there's plans in place. It says in 2023, County Board of Commissioners purchased this marina for $633,000 from a particular individual. I'm not sure if they were the owner or not of this property. The Barnegat Lightship was included in the sale, along with other abandoned boats, and the plan is to convert the property into a waterfront park that will be part of a 32-mile-long hiking and biking trail that runs from Valley Forge, Pennsylvania to Cape May. But it does state the future of the Barnegat Lightship has yet to be determined. So the future for the ship is in limbo. It's questionable what's going to happen. I don't think it's going to be preserved with how far gone it is, but stranger things have happened. But it has a lot of fascinating history, and it's just an iconic ship here at this location that's really well known amongst explorers and locals to the area. And to know at this property, it's going to get cleaned up. Not sure what they'll do with all the boats. I'm guessing probably scrap a lot of them, maybe keep some of them as paying homage to the old marina. But at some point in the future, it's not going to look like it does now. It's not going to look like a post-apocalyptic world. It's going to be a public location for people to come and enjoy and to connect up with a hiking, biking trail. So I'm glad I got here when I did. I would have loved to came a couple months earlier. The schedule just didn't allow for it. I had other priorities. And those geese are going to be really upset if they take that ship away, because they're definitely claiming ownership of it right now. I do want to thank Matt for coming. I feel really bad that he was left behind. He did volunteer to do so. Since we're in an unfamiliar area, not the greatest location, it did work out for the best. I did tell him though, when I come back, you're welcome to come over here, check it out for yourself if you want to. And we do have another location in store about an hour from here. So there will be an additional video coming out of something that's rather hidden and forgotten in the woods. I'll leave it at that. Anyways, any insight that you have based on what you've seen, whether the particular vessels, the innards, or mechanisms of the Barnegat, or anything else that you did see, by all means, comment section is for you guys. Have at it, share what you want, and hopefully we can learn a few more things about the leftovers from long ago. Definitely happy to check off a few boxes today as a first, and happy more so to check it out before those plans do come to fruition. But a hot, sweaty mess. I got to get cleaned up, meet up with Matt, and get some lunch and head to our next location. So thank you so very much for coming along. Hope you enjoyed this as much as I did. I had a fantastic time. Even though we had a slight scare in the beginning with the police, it worked out as it was supposed to. I'm happy to say I was here. I was able to share it with all of you. So take care, and as always, I'll see you in the next video.